up, guys? Alright, so we're back for another video, and this video is going to be about the European Super League. And we're just going to hop straight into it. So if you don't know what the European Super League is, it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a league table with the best teams from across Europe competing in it. Now you can ask, is this like the Champions League where they have a group stage, then it goes on to a knockout stage, and then they have two legs, and ultimately whoever wins that is a champion? Well, no, it's not like that. It's actually a league table where a win is 3 points, a draw is 1, and a loss is 0, like in the rest of the leagues. And then at the end of the season, whoever's in first place wins the league. Now, this league, or the idea of this league at least, has raised a lot of questions and a lot of disputes across the entire world. Some people think this league would be amazing and a good idea, while others believe this would be absolutely horrible for the sport itself. So I'm here to give you the pros and the cons of this league and ultimately give you my opinion. Now let's just start off with a pro. A pro of having this league will be, well, we have the best teams from all across Europe competing on a weekly basis. That means Barcelona versus Juventus. You have Real Madrid versus Bayern, Manchester City versus Inter Milan. Like, these are extremely good games that, sadly enough, we don't get to see that often. And this European Super League allows us to see those games on a weekly basis. And you know, there's always been that cliche battle of, oh, if Messi didn't play for Barcelona and if he played in the Premier League, would he be able to do the same stuff that he's doing? Well, a European Super League would be able to prove that for us, and we'll be able to see just how good a player like Messi or a player like Mbappe will be able to do it in the league such as that. And when it comes to the fans, at the end of the season, whichever team wins this league, their fans will have the best bragging rights of any team in history, because they'll officially be named the best team in Europe, because they would have had to play every best team in Europe in order to reach the #1 spot. Now, I mentioned the fans, and that's kind of what's going to lead me into the first con, which is the fact that the fans will just not be able to attend games as regularly. Let's take the league like the Premier League, for example. Each team, they play against every team once away and once home. Now, obviously, it'll be harder for someone who supports a team such as Arsenal to go all the way to Wales to versus a team such as Cardiff. Now, it is difficult for fans to go to a game such as that, but it's not impossible due to them both being in the UK and in the same region. However, if Arsenal was in the European Super League and they had to play a team such as PSG, well, that would just make it harder for the fans because they have to travel to a whole other country in order to watch their team play away. Now, obviously, the case is now that whichever team is playing at home, obviously their supporters are going to be there more in abundance than the away teams. But with these teams playing across country, that's just going to double that and make it almost impossible for away fans to attend. Taking it back to the pros of this will be that whichever teams are in this league, they're going to get really nice paychecks and they're going to make a good amount of money. Now, that is ultimately why these teams such as Manchester United, such as Liverpool and Spurs, that's the main reason why these teams want this league to happen, is due to the TV rights and due to the paycheck that they'll get. And with the current pandemic that's going on, I guess it's understandable that, you know, these clubs lost billions of dollars during this year, 2020. So of course they're going to want to make that money back somehow. So getting TV rights, with TV broadcasting all of their game, and with fans attending the stadium more due to the high level of opponents, you know, they're going to make a good amount of money. But then with that fact, that raises the question, would that be for the benefit of soccer, or would that be for the benefit of the individual teams? Now, that leads me to my last con, which is potentially the biggest one of them all, and is the fact that youth players will not be able to shine as much as they currently do in domestic leagues. When you're playing in this European Super League, you're going to be versing the best teams of Europe on a week-to-week basis. Therefore, there will not really be easy games per se. That ultimately means that teams are going to have to play their strongest starting 11 every single week, sometimes twice a week, which leaves the youth sitting on the bench or not even being called up. If you take Ansu Fati from Barcelona, for example, The only reason he was brought into the starting 11 in the first place was due to Messi's injury, and Barcelona was versing an easy team. And because of that, Ansu Fati was able to shine, scoring goals and getting assists, and he's been in the starting 11 ever since. But if you're in the European Super League and you have to play Bayern, then you have to play Juventus, then you have to play Inter Milan, then you have to play Manchester City, there's not really room to play a youngster like Ansu Fati when he's not really proven yet. Now, I know I've been mentioning Barcelona a lot, but they're the perfect example for this situation because they are a team that relies heavily on their youth academy, La Masia, to raise players, mold them into the players that they want them to be, and then ultimately lead them to the first starting 11. Entering a European Super League will ultimately leave La Masia completely useless to Barcelona because they're not going to be able to play their youth against top European teams. Now, if you wanted my opinion on the European Super League, I personally, although I do agree that these types of games will be amazing to watch on a weekly basis, and I as a fan would love to see these games as well. I completely understand that, but I just believe a league such as this will be to the detriment of the sport itself. Ultimately, it doesn't benefit the sport at all. It just benefits the clubs individually who are trying to make their money back from the current pandemic. We do already have the Champions League in place, which, you know, big European clubs do face each other in there. And although we might not see every team face every other team, it's still better than nothing. I feel like if a European Super League were to take the place of domestic leagues, that would just be horrible because, come on, we all need to know bragging rights, especially in Spain. Barcelona versus Real Madrid, we always have to know who's the better team. But we'll never get those fairy tale stories of Leicester winning the Premier League against all odds. And we never get Monaco beating PSG for the league title for the first time in I don't know how many years. Stuff such as that will never happen if there's a European Super League. And now, I say this, that I'm not completely for the European Super League. However, I do think that it will happen. It's not going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years maybe, but I give it 5 or 6 years and this very well may just happen. Manchester United have already agreed to be in it, Barcelona have already agreed to it, and numerous other teams have as well. So with big teams backing it, I don't see why it won't happen. But at the end of the day, that is just my opinion, and who knows, maybe there is some facts about this European Super League that just haven't come to light yet that might make it better and make it more enjoyable for the fans. So those were the pros and cons of this European Super League. Let me know down below in the comments what you believe. Do you think a European Super League will be worth it, or do you think it will be to the detriment of the sport itself? So make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and you see that little bell down there right next to the subscribe button? Make sure you click that so you never ever miss when I upload. As well as this, follow me on all social medias because I tend to be active on there and continually spread my opinion about what's going on in the world of soccer. So, as always, don't at me.
Pull up in the gold I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Beeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with the bat. Snapping with a phone and dab. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in the drip and sip blockbuster.